Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing dumper thoughts if Dumpee says hi. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing dumper thoughts if Dumpee says hi. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, it's very understandable for you to be wondering what would be the harm if I was to text my ex. Although there is no guaranteed way of knowing how somebody would respond or what they would think, I'm going to be discussing in today's podcast 3 of the most likely thoughts that a dumper will have if you as a dumpee was to text them hi. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is this is awkward. So you have to understand the position that the dumper is in after the breakup has settled. When you and your now ex were in a loving romantic relationship, you were both feeling a high level of romantic emotional attraction for one another. Now, for various potential reasons, unfortunately, this level of attraction did drop in the mind of your now ex, and they became the dumper. They ended the relationship because they did not feel fulfilled in this current connection. They did not believe that moving forward with this relationship would satisfy them going forward. So what we can take from this is when they end a relationship, they are in the mindset that this is not for them. This is not working. Now, this doesn't mean that this is how they will always feel, but we must understand this is how they are feeling and thinking right now after the breakup has been finalised, after the dust has settled. So if you was to then text your ex hi, one of the most likely thoughts your ex-dumper will have is, this is awkward. Because what they are in essence saying, in their own mind at least, is, why doesn't my dumpee understand? What don't they get? What won't get through their mind that I've decided to end this relationship? Now, presumably at the time of the breakup, there was likely, and understandably so, a lot of emotions flying high, things being said, whether it was in text, phone calls or in person, but things would have been out in the open, and your ex-dumper would definitely know that you don't want this relationship to end. So although they know you don't want it to end, they would have put their points across as for why this needs to end for their point of view. And even if they didn't, the fact they just want to end this should show their thoughts. Actions speak louder than words. So they have tried to, in their mind, make it clear that this relationship is over. So if you text them hi, one of the thoughts that they will be thinking is, this is awkward. They just don't understand why the dumpee doesn't get this situation. Now, of course, as a dumpee, there are so many emotions and thoughts flooding through your mind. You may feel that this has come out of the blue. You may feel that this is not the right decision. But all of these things are not in the dumper's perspective at this point in time. So although what I'm going to be discussing in point number 1 is one of the possibilities, we have to understand that, like I said, there are many, almost an infinite amount of possibilities of what a dumper may feel and act. But these are, in my experience as a relationship coach, the most likely thoughts that I've been told by dumpers. So, likely in point number 1 is that they probably will reply. So if you text your ex, if you are a dumpee and you message your dumper hi, in point number 1, this is one of the most likely options, you will probably get a response, but this doesn't mean your ex-dumper actually wants to reconnect with you. It just shows that they are trying to be polite, but they don't understand why you don't get it. They are thinking, this is really awkward, I don't know what to do, what shall I do, what shall I say? Should I respond? Probably, I probably should. How should I respond? And this is why sometimes a dumpee will receive a response from their ex, and they're really confused, because maybe it sounds overly happy, or possibly it seems really off-kilter about how they would normally respond to a message. Maybe it just doesn't feel right, but you are surprised because you're even thinking in your mind, I'm a bit surprised my ex-dumper has actually responded to me. I sent hi, but deep down I didn't think they would reply. and now they have? I'm really confused. So sometimes the message doesn't make sense really to how you would have expected. Sometimes the fact they have replied doesn't make sense at all, even though that is what you were hoping. But unfortunately, if this is the position your ex-dumper is in, if they are feeling this is awkward, then this conversation you are having is going to dry up quickly. So in point number 1, when they're feeling awkward, you may get a response, but if you then try to reply and grow this further, it will probably not go very far. Maybe they will take a lot longer to respond to a second message. Maybe you won't even get a second reply. But in point number 1, this is awkward. They don't understand why you are actually sending a message. They don't get why you don't understand the situation right now. They may reply, but it doesn't mean, unfortunately, that it's going anywhere. Let me know in the YouTube comments if this has happened to you and if this resonates with you. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about dumper thoughts if Dumpee says hi. And point number 2 is they're thinking, I hope they're okay. So when somebody ends a relationship, it doesn't mean that they hate their ex. In most instances, a dumper still cares for their dumpee to a certain degree. But it doesn't suggest that they want to get back together, certainly at this moment. So if we're thinking point number 2, and if your dumper falls into this category, they will actually be worried about you. Now maybe this is because of your actions or the things you have said, or perhaps it is just their nature to worry about you. They feel guilty. They feel like they didn't want to end a relationship, but they felt they had to for whatever reason. So if you message and say hi, they're probably thinking to themselves, look, I hope they're okay. I didn't want to hurt them. I want to make sure that they're going to be fine moving forward. And if you fall into this category, if you're a dumpee and your ex-dumper is in this position where they hope that you're okay, what you'll probably find is you will be responded to, and you may even get a number of messages back and forth. This can sometimes confuse a dumpee into thinking you're on the right lines to reconnecting. But what you don't realise is, unfortunately, these messages are coming from worry. They're coming from pity. They're coming from a position that is not attractive. I always say if you want to attract somebody, you need to be the type of person that people resonate towards because you are physically, emotionally, you may say even spiritually attractive. You are an attractive person. They're coming to you for that reason. They are not coming to you because they feel sorry for you. Somebody feeling sorry for you, pity for you, worry for you is not attractive in a romantic sense. It's not physically attractive, spiritually attractive, emotionally attractive. So if your ex-dumper is feeling sorry for you, if they're worried about you, if they're wondering if you're okay, they will respond. They'll probably have long conversations with you. But unfortunately, if and when you actually meet your ex, if and when you speak to your ex on the phone possibly, it will become clear that they don't want to reconnect. They may say things such as, look, it's me, it's not you. They may say things such as, if you could have just done this, this and this, then maybe things would have been okay. And I really wish it had worked out. But unfortunately, I just can't do this. And even if you then say, well, I will do A, B and C, they'll say, look, I'm sorry, it's too late. I just can't do this anymore. These are the type of things, you will get that conversation. You might even meet. You can see that they feel sorry for you, but at this point in time, they are not changing their mind. Again, please let me know in the YouTube comments if point number 2 resonates with you. Do you feel that your ex-dumper feels sorry for you? Because you need them to feel attracted to you in a romantic sense, not resonating towards you because they feel worried about you, not because they're trying to check up on you. That is not romantic attraction. So if you ever get into your mind, I'm going to say to my ex something to make them worried about me, don't do this. Not only is it not fair, but it's certainly not attractive. If you genuinely feel worried, if you genuinely feel that you could be a danger to yourself or others, you must contact a local doctor. You will get through this, I promise you. You will feel happiness again with or without your ex. But don't put that burden on your ex-dumper. It's not going to get them back. You can't try and persuade them, blackmail them, or anything else to go with you, to be with you, to spend time with you if they're worried about you. You don't want somebody to only be with you if they're worried. You want somebody to be with you because they're romantically interested. As I said, if you feel you are a danger to yourself or others, if you feel depressed, please contact a local doctor. You will get through this, okay? These feelings are temporary. I promise you. keep moving forward. But it's very important for me to say, if your ex-dumper is wondering if you're okay, if they're contacting you, it doesn't mean that they're going to get back with you anytime soon. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about dumper thoughts if Dumpee says hi. And point number 3 is I'm angry. Now, if you have an ex-dumper who feels angry that you've reached out and you've said hi, then unfortunately, you will likely get one of two options in what happens next. Option 1 is they won't respond. Quite possibly you may be blocked. And option 2 is you may get a response, but it will be very, very negative. You know, the words they say will be very hurtful potentially. Again, let me know in the YouTube comments if unfortunately you fall into category number 3 if your ex-dumper is angry. Now you might be thinking, well, all of these 3 options are negative, and that is because in the vast majority of instances, if you as a dumpee message your ex-dumper with hi, then unfortunately it's very unlikely you're going to reconnect. Now, I'm not here to tell you that it's impossible. Nothing works 100% of the time. Nothing fails 100% of the time. If you do the opposite to what I suggest, maybe 1, 2, 3 people out of 100 will find success, but I want to give you the best possible chance of success. And if you want to increase your chance of trying to get your ex back, if you want to make sure you don't fall in category 1, 2, or 3, then one of the things you can do if you believe that I could help you is to contact me via my website to have one-on-one audio coaching where me and you can speak about your unique situation. If you want to talk with me one-on-one about your problem, your position, your situation, go to my website www.dateme.tips and find out the details on my audio coaching service. As I said, there is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back, but you can increase your chances of success. You don't have to be in these positions, points 1, 2, and 3, where either they're feeling awkward, maybe they are feeling worried about you, or perhaps they're just so angry that they just don't respond, maybe they even block you, or perhaps they do reply, but sadly, it is not with nice words. There are ways you can put yourself in a better position to try and reconnect with your ex. Would that involve you reaching out and saying hi? Well, it's very unlikely, but there are some unique situations where that may be the case. That's where the audio coaching comes in, because my podcasts have to be generalized. This is generalized content, and it is not looking at your specific, unique circumstances. I would generally say that if you've been dumped, your best chance of success is to never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. So that does not mean you reach out and say hi. However, there are occasionally caveats to the rule, positions that you can be in where maybe this could give you an edge. Very rare, but you never know, and I can't help you unless I know your position. So, just to reiterate, nothing works every time, nothing fails every time. A few lucky people, and that is what they would be. They would be lucky if they proceed in a way where they chase their dumper, may find success. But the vast majority of dumpees who chase their ex, who say hi, who don't respect their decision to end the relationship, most dumpees will not reconnect with their ex. That's the facts, that's the stats, that's all of the research, but I have uncovered, researched, learnt, however you want to describe it, over many, many years of doing this. So you want to put yourself in the best position, not the worst. But ultimately, whether you get your ex back or not, you will be fine. I strongly believe, I really, truly, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, believe that if you do everything right, if you improve every single day, you can find somebody better than your ex. Your ex doesn't define you. They don't mean the world in comparison to what you can find. But if you improve yourself, if you live your life in the best way, your options will open. Tomorrow is another day, okay? And you never know what's round your next corner. So keep moving forward. Your ex is not everything. Some of you will be able to get your ex back, some of you won't, but all of you can be happy. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.